The United States stands above all other countries in the world. Okay, that's a crazy statement. The United States is one of the greatest countries in the world along with many some others. There are other countries that are better than the US. In what sense? In what sense? As far as, now I'm gonna have to say this one, the middle ground. I'm gonna go even. I was gonna say, as far as social mobility is concerned, in the United States, I feel like America is one of the only countries where you can be a peasant and work your way up to being rich. Does that make sense? And the other countries, people have great standards of living, but it's very hard for them to become rich. Like some random nigga in the UK, he's not getting rich. You know? Some random nigga in Germany, he ain't getting rich. Italy, he ain't getting rich. Unless his family was rich, unless he's an aristocrat, the odds of him becoming wealthy, successful, and rich are very fucking slim. And those are countries where there's more freedom than China. In China, you're not getting rich unless you're a party toter. In Russia, you're not getting rich unless you're corrupt. And then in those countries, the other countries they're developing, I don't want to live in a shithole, so it doesn't count. So yeah, America, one of the only countries where you can start out poor and you can work your way up to becoming somebody super successful. If I lived in Europe, I would never have been able to get a supercar. How much of a problem, if any, would you say each of the following are in the country today? People being too easily offended by things others say. Major problem. People saying things that are very offensive to others. Minor problem. Which comes closer to your view of candidates for political office, even if neither is exactly right? I usually feel like there's at least one candidate who shares most of my views. None of the candidates represent my views well here. I would say option number 2, none of the candidates represent my views well. Because I feel like we're in a bukkake theater. Is that the saying? Bukkake theater? Did I butcher that? I think I misspoke there, but either way, he says, what the fuck? What's the saying? What's the saying? I said bukkake theater. It's not bukkake theater. There's a oh my god, what's the actual saying, chat? But you know, that was a Freudian slip. He's a damn gooner. That's a Freudian slip, Derek, because in reality we kind of are in one of those, right? We kind of are in one of those. I don't know what the actual saying is, but that's not the saying. But either way, we are in one of those, so it doesn't really matter, right? He says, I have no idea what you're saying, but it's not that. Oh, don't clip that one, chat. In general, how much do white people benefit from advantages in society that black people do not have? In general, how much do white people benefit from advantages in society that black people do not have? This is a tough one. I'm going to say a fair amount. Not to play a victim. I never said that there weren't advantages that white folk have in society. They definitely do. But you can't hold that ship as a chip on your shoulder your whole life and play the victim just because it's not fair. Life isn't fair, nigga. Life isn't fair, nigga. So, buckle up. Buckle up. Life isn't fair. That's why you got to focus on yourself. If you focus on all your disadvantage, no, I choked. At that very, I said nigga, bro, but I choked. I choked at the exact same second when I said the word. I choked at the same. I choked, chat. I choked. I choked. Anyways, buckle up. Life isn't fair. Guy says he cooked. Do you think greater social acceptance of people who are transgender, people who identify as a gender that is different from their sex they are assigned to at birth, is very good for society, somewhat good, neither good nor bad, somewhat bad for society, very bad for society? I'm going to say very bad for society. I'm sorry. If you're a transgender, you're mentally ill. Literally, technically, you're mentally ill. You're basically saying that your mind does not match your sexual. You're saying that your mind doesn't match your gender. Not your gender, your sex. That your gender doesn't match your sex. That's a mismatch. That's mentally ill. You're mentally ill. I think it's very bad for society. Overall, would you say people who are convicted of crimes in the country serve too much time in prison, too little time in prison, about the right amount of time in prison? Damn, that's a tough one. It's different for everyone. I'm going to say too much time in prison. Too much time in prison, chat. Production crew says, we got a hard arse Leonard before GTA 6. Vince is too little. Diddy's going to walk. Yeah, but Diddy's the exception to the rule, though, bro, Vin. Think about all the poor people who did nothing and got mad years in prison. Think about that one guy we watched here on stream that was doing the terroristic threats on Twitch about the kids. He said he was going to shoot up some kids. But he didn't even say he was going to shoot up some kids. He said, I might go out and shoot up some kids. And that guy got 20 years in prison, bro. He got 20 years in prison for something that was obviously a joke.